Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another meeting with our investors that Sirma Group Holding is organizing upon the invitation of Ilana Trading. I am very glad that this is already a tradition, and I hope that indeed this will cast its beneficial influence on the Bulgarian capital market. For the next hour, Mr. Tsvetan Alexiev, who is the Executive Director, and Mrs. Radka Penova, who is a Financial Director, are going to tell us something more about the financial results of the company in the year 2015. And I hope that we should also hear what to expect in the year 2016. And everyone who is listening to us and have kindly given some time on the 8th of March, which is obviously the celebrated Women's Day, can also ask their questions at the Sirma Group Sky site and also at sirma.com. Stefan Kirakov is also here. He is going to solve the questions that we should answer live, or rather will be answered by the company's management. And now we may directly start with a brief presentation. Mr. Tsvetan Alexiev. Hello. I sincerely wish a nice celebration to old ladies. And now, after all, we have to get back to business. In this very brief presentation, I should tell you once again a few key facts about who we are, we at Sirma Group Holding. We should also look at the consolidated report. That is the statement for the fourth quarter of the year 2015, which is practically the annual report. And also, what were the key events? And what our investments have been in the year 2015 and what is about to be accomplished in the already commenced year 2016, and also what our strategy will be for the key companies within the group. And afterwards we shall answer your questions gladly so. Now, Sirma Group Holding is the largest Bulgarian IT group with well over 23 years of background behind it. The holding invests and manages strategically and operationally all its subsidiaries and affiliates. All of them are technological companies. And the Sirma Group Holding Company itself serves financially, administratively, technically, all companies within our group. We are quite proud of what we have already achieved till present date. We're also quite proud of the fact that we're a strongly technological company and our affiliates are amongst the world leaders in their respective spheres. And I would say that a clear indication of this is all the significant customers that the companies within the group already boast. These are leading international companies such as BBC, Bank of America, Financial Times, AstraZeneca, O'Reilly Press Association, lots of banks such as Espirito Santos, Allianz, Raiffeisen Bank, Alpha Bank, throughout the Balkan Peninsula, quite a few Caribbean banks. Also, our customers are the United States government, Canada, and also the Bulgarian government. Sirma Group Holding consists of 12 subsidiaries, 3 associates, and 3 consortiums. The key companies within the group, a key in terms of their revenue, are Sirma Solutions, Ontotext, Envio Systems, Sirma ITT, Sirma Business Consulting, and Datacom. Now, I should briefly describe the activity of each of these key companies. Now, Sirma Solutions, first and foremost, is the largest company within Sirma Group. It is one of the biggest system integrators on the Bulgarian market. And also I have to know that this is a service company that implements various projects for software solutions for customers throughout the US and Europe, and of course Bulgaria. Again, with quite a few private companies and also the public administration in this country, and many, many others. Ontotext. Now, Ontotext is one of the top technological companies within the group because it develops semantic technologies databases. In this sector, Ontotext is amongst the most recognizable companies in the entire world. Envios Systems is one of the world leaders in the production of CAD/CAM systems for the packaging industry. And also, it boasts the position of a leader of the developer for software for various measuring apparatus. Sirma Business Consulting offers a full spectrum of solutions for the banking sector. And we implement not just the core banking systems, but also quite a few satellite systems around these core systems. Sirma Business Consulting also has a very rich portfolio of its own products that it sells and immediately implements for its customers. Sirma ITT. Now, Sirma ITT is also an innovative company which developed a complex platform for joint activities, for process management and workflow management for larger companies and enterprises. This platform is also based on semantic technologies of Ontotext, which is one of the most innovative platforms in this sphere. In this sphere or segment. Also, Sirma ITT has its own products in a few verticals. That is, products such as system for the management of ISO processes for standardization, product lifecycle management systems, etc., etc. Daticom is a data center which is positioned here in this country. And we have to note that it is the most rapidly developing segment within Daticom is the provision of cloud services. In this class, we are the leader amongst all data center companies in Bulgaria. And lastly, Sirma ISG develops insurance sector software. And what are the results for the year 2015? 2015 for us was a year where we prepared the IPO, the initial public offering, and I would say that all the efforts of our management were really focused in this direction. Nevertheless, we worked quite devotedly and we achieved very good results. And I have to note here that the growth of our income and revenue is 21%. Of course, in view of the fact that we started the preparation for the IPO quite early for one reason or another, the entire process was quite tardy, and we started investing of our own equity, our own capital, into different projects, which will give us the chance to show even better results in the current year 2016. Because of this investment, you can see for yourself that the EBITDA and the margin are slightly decreased. However, I can assuredly say that in the year 2015, we built a sound foundation for a better progress in the year 2016, even though I have to repeat once again, the process, the IPO process was quite delayed. We really relied on commencing the implementation of our investment projects with the money that we have earned on the stock exchange. But bottom line, we did manage to kick off working with our own money again. What is the reason for the increased revenue? We have quite a few new customers. We have recurring income, which is from 22% to 33.5%. And which are the key activities which were conducive to the EBITDA and net margin increase. These are software solutions for e-government, media, financial institutions. We also worked quite hard in the sphere of cultural monuments management sector and so on. Also, we managed in the year 2015 to sell quite a few licenses to our own products, such as Ontotext GraphDB, also the EngView products, the package designer, Sirma ISG products, the Sirma business consulting products, and many others. The growth of capitalized expenditure that you can see in the reports is due to the fact that we continued investing in our own products in the different companies within the group for Sirma Solutions, PayMobilio, GraphDB for Ontotext, Sirma Platform for Sirma ITT, and many others. And of course, there are different products in Sirma Business Consulting which kept developing further. You can also see that we have an increase of expenses for our staff, which is due to quite a few factors. Firstly, to the fact that we try to attract really high quality personnel in terms of the leading IT specialists on this market, and also the highly competitive market in the IT sector. For Bulgaria, this is starting to become quite a sensitive issue because indeed there is a lot of friction on the labor market, that is IT market once again. The key projects for the year 2015 were the large system integration projects, such as one for a Bulgarian bank, also for the hospital in the city of Panegyrish. This was a really large and demanding project. Also in the US, we keep developing software in the IT security sphere. Ontotext have managed to fulfill a large project for the Financial Times. We also launched a new version of the product by EngView Systems, that is the Package Designer 6. We also fulfilled quite a few projects that we have commenced for the e-government in Bulgaria, and also quite a few projects for flight management, air traffic control, and also quite a few banking products such as the FlexCube core banking integration in Albania, a large project in Trinidad and Tobago. We also delivered one of the new products by Sirma ITT to one of the largest companies in the world that is a water management company. That is a product for engineering documentation. And all these projects, were not easy to win. And I have to say that our rivals were really serious, and we are truly flattered by the fact that we were chosen before IBM and others of this scale. And they were not easy to implement either, but we managed very well indeed, with all the challenges along the way. And in the year 2015, we have not had any issues with clients or projects that had to be classified in other way, but excellent in terms of quality of implementation and work afterwards. The individual results by companies. Now here, I'll say that the growth of revenue is quite susceptible. Also, I have to note that the EBITDA is much smaller simply because Sirma Solutions started investing in 2015 before the IPO, so that we could grow in the United States. There is a decrease of profits at Ontotext. This was due to the fact that we had some problems with our American office. Key persons from the personnel there resigned, and we had to quickly react by restoring activity there. So we immediately dispatched the people from Bulgaria to the States. In any case, the process of generating new income and sales in the US was quickly restored. Envy Systems. Envy Systems, there is a slight decrease. No, actually, it is not a decrease. It's an increase in sales and a slight decrease in EBITDA. Daticum, there is a huge increase in revenue. Sirma Business Consulting, likewise. There is quite a significant increase, which of course cannot be compared to the Daticum one, yet it is quite perceptible. What were the key events and investments in the year 2015? Firstly, we managed to expand our market presence in the US through Sirma Solutions and Envy Systems. Also, Sirma Solutions started increasing its activities, while Envy Systems has a brand new office at the US. We kept with our Ontotext products and solutions portfolio. Also, Sirma ITT, we further developed there, and we specialized, as already mentioned, in a few vertical products. We kept developing products through Ontotext, and we also developed a prototype of a brand new service in the banking sector, which is PayMobilia, and our R&D in the sphere of computer vision and artificial intelligence applications is ongoing quite successfully too. Once we managed to push through the IPO in November 2015, we immediately started reforming our investment activity that is in line with the results and the prospect that we have published. Until present date, indeed, we have managed to fulfill lots of our tasks, and what we did manage was the completion of projects for investment in companies within the Sirma Group. At the investment committee level, the projects have passed through a harmonization with the managers of each company, and we have also developed adequate business plans. So we have to vote and pass the investment plan. This will happen until the end of this month, that is March. And immediately afterwards, we shall start implementing the investment projects within the Sirma Group companies. Also, we passed through the stage of evaluation and selection of investment brokers so that we could attract investment to some of our subsidiaries, and also selection of acquisition companies. What are the targets of Sirma Group for the year 2016? Firstly, the company formation in the US, which will mirror the Sirma Group holding structure in Bulgaria. As we have already entered into our prospect, we are going to increase the trade capacity of all companies within the Sirma Group in the US. At the same time, we are going to increase the production capacity in this country, in Bulgaria, and also throughout Europe. We plan to acquire companies in some of the key segments in which the group is developing and which are of particular interest to Sirma Group. And also we are going to form the operative strategy for the year 2017. We also plan to increase revenue in 2016 by 25%. And also increase the EBITDA by 30%. And the profitability of the company should practically double. The plans and goals for the separate companies for this year are as follows. For Sirma Solutions, to increase sales in the US, extend our office at Boise, Idaho, that is with some technical personnel, project managers, and traders. We should increasingly specialize our consultancy activities in the US along the three verticals: core cybersecurity applications and next generation cloud applications and systems. We plan to increase our R&D personnel in Europe. Of course, in Bulgaria, we should have new locations, not just in Sofia, but throughout the country. At the existing offices, in Varna, Russe, Kazanlak, and Plovdiv. Well, as a matter of fact, we are sharing the office with Sirma Business Consulting there, but anyway. Also, we intend to open offices at some of the remaining key Bulgarian towns. At the same time, we are looking around and we are seriously researching any open opportunities to attract R&D resource from other countries in Europe. Also, we are going to develop further the European business of the company. As a matter of fact, the European business of Sirma Solutions, by that I mean projects out of this country. And I would say that this particular sphere is not as developed as our United States business, but as a matter of fact, we have already undertaken certain measures, and we are going to work quite seriously in this respect also, so that we may also sell to Western Europe or throughout Europe, but with an accent on Western Europe. And in order to maintain our excellent positions in the public sector, we have already taken a decision to separate these in an autonomous company, and we are looking for an investor who would boost this company's progress more quickly. From 15.5 million Bulgarian leva, we expect increase of revenue to 20 million in 2016. Now, Ontotext in 2016 in particular is planning the following for this year. Firstly, to have a better product positioning. In other words, we should really specify the right products, and also we have to have a very good profiling so that we may further render precise the positioning of our products and services. so that we may share with our customers and demonstrate an even clearer, more lucid value added through our products. So what we plan to do in the US is certain change in our strategy. Until present date, our marketing was mostly directed at our big customers. I suppose that this will stay the same in 2016, but we also intend to have a very purposeful, narrow targeting amongst developers because, for instance, graph database, but not a relational one, instead the one that is used by software developers. And our key target should be to popularize this software, to start working more actively with the active groups amongst our users. Firstly, so that the product may be even more popular, and secondly, because we would need to steer the product development in the right, precise direction. Another task before us is to develop very good applications for publishers, media, so that our products and solutions would be much more friendly in terms of implementation as compared to currently. Also, we should work very earnestly in the marketing sphere so that we may have many more leads and sell much more licenses. As for the financial targets of the Ontotext, from 3.2 million euro, it is supposed to increase to 4 million euro and also obtain 50% product revenue and 33% recurring revenue. Envy Systems are planning the following: 50% revenue increase. Well, as a matter of fact, the US office is already opened. However, it needs to be launched effectively in terms of working with full power. In the plans of the company, we also have another item, which is launch the key software for macOS and also develop a new product, which is much broader, that is traders in the packing industry, so that we may further develop and expand our business partnerships. And also the key this year is Drupa 2016. This is the biggest show, and I think it is triennial. This is the Olympics or the Oscars in this sphere. And I'll say that now we're going to demonstrate our new products and solutions at this key event, and we expect to have a grand opening in this segment. As for Sirma ITT, this company is going to be rebranded, and once again the focus is falls on the US market. At the same time, we are going to try to find an investor so that we may further boost its growth. That is, we need 1.5 million euro for 2016 and 5 million euro until 2018. This is in accordance with the strategic plan of the company. Of course, we are going to expand the marketing and sales teams, and we should further expand the company's capacity. This year, we need to launch a conservation space, which is a platform embracing work for restoration of objects of art for the largest United States museums, and we are going to also launch the sales of products of this platform as software in the States towards all museums on both American continents, North and South. We shall also work to launch the new version of our product for ISO processes. There is a new standard 2001, and our ambitious target is to be very swift in adapting to the new standard and to be some of the pioneers that are going to launch a strong solution both in the US and in Europe. Also, we reckon that we're going to keep working on public projects so that our platform maybe use the one that we developed for the municipalities and a government in principle. I think that we are going to include more and more municipalities, local governments to this platform, which would also be a very successful strategy. And needless to say, we should keep developing and further precision of the two verticals, discrete manufacturing, printing and packaging industries. That is alongside in-view systems. As you can see for yourself from the plans of our company, we are trying to find a very strong synergy between the activities of different companies. For instance, the plan of Sirma ITT clearly shows that one of the new niches, that is packaging and manufacturing, this is done alongside in-view systems, which already specialized in this segment. On the other hand, though, Sirma ITT uses the Ontotext technology. On the other hand, Sirma Solutions quite frequently implements projects by using the platform of Sirma ITT and the database center.com, etc., etc. So, indeed, it is a very synergical positioning along the verticals of our activities, especially on the strategically interesting axis, so that we may, to a maximum, use all our talents and potential so that we may further boost the sales via different companies or in combination, in joint activity of the various companies within the group. Sirma Business Consulting plans to increase the profits, revenue rather, up to 3.8 million. The company is about to complete the specialization Oracle FlexCube 12 process. And this is done in view to be the first certified partner for the entire Balkan Peninsula. Many of the Bulgarian, and not only, but also Balkan banks are already clients of Sirma Consulting. We shall have a new online banking platform launched, and we are going to complete our certification along a few international standards. We are about to increase the staff. One of the purposes of the company is to try and acquire some company along the same vertical in some of the neighboring countries, such as Romania or Albania or another. With this, I believe I should wrap up my presentation on what we managed to achieve in the year 2015. We are looking forward with lots of optimism. The 2016, I believe, is going to secure a lot for us, of course, this optimism to turn into realistic achievements would require lots and lots of work, but we're very earnest and very decisive to show to our investors that indeed their decision to place their trust with us was a good one, and together we are going to achieve a lot. Thank you. Thank you very much for this very comprehensive and intriguing presentation. I need to say that questions can be asked already if you have not done that. At Sirma Group in Skype or email address ir@sirma.com. There are quite a few questions already, so I'm going to ask you these first, sir. So the first question is, can you describe the key market environment currently, be it geographically or by products that you believe demonstrate their strength at the moment, or the ones that are weak or going out of vogue, so to speak, and what are your respective expectations? I mentioned already a few of the products within our companies. Of course, out of the ready products that are our own and we have in the companies, GraphDB by Ontotext is one of the most outstanding ones. As I already mentioned there, we are going to further invest a lot into marketing for the US so that it may reach the software developers. This is the challenge posed before us, and we should wait and see whether we shall manage to popularize the product adequately to its potential, because indeed GraphDB is one of the best graph databases. And RDF-based triple store basis. But notwithstanding this fact, we need to achieve our aim, and this aim is to have indeed a very affordable, accessible product. In other words, we need to gain their hearts and liking of all software engineers. Another key product, of course, is CAD-CAM by EngView Package Designer. Yes, this product is indeed increasing in popularity, and it is gaining not just popularity, but it is being improved. But our plans, in any case, are to build a portfolio of products around this core product so that we may service a larger and larger part of all departments within a company working in the packaging sphere. Also, we are getting better and increasingly adequate products within Sirma Business Consulting. We manage to realize those not just to banks in this country, but as already mentioned in my presentation, to banks throughout the Balkan Peninsula, Western Europe, and also to us, it's a very strong market that we have in the Caribbean. So we expect to quickly have a swift development of Sirma ITT products because they are very exclusively focused. We have a very streamlined concept about them. We have a very good reference customers, such as large companies, the big players in the US, also in Bulgaria. With the platform by Sirma ITT, we managed to realize quite a few projects for e-government and so on. So I reasonably expect that this year we should sell these products even better. And what are the weak ones, or at least geographical areas which are weak? Weak sites, shortcomings, as already mentioned, for instance, Sirma Solutions, there is a weak site, which is the European market. In other words, we manage to realize our products much better in the US or Canada. And it is very difficult for us to reach out to customers in Germany. Well, to some extent, we do have Scandinavian customers, but the European business of Sirma Solutions is still underdeveloped, underrepresented, and our plan and ambition is to develop it fully. I would not say that a weak business, but a risky business is the public sector, because bottom line, whether you manage to reach your targets depends entirely on whether the state, the government, invests into information systems, whether there are public offerings. And also, this is not just the decision, but also you have to, if there is a tender, you must win it. So there is some risk, reasonable risk. As for expenditure, what is your strategy? From this point on for expenditure, would you give some prognostication about the margin within the company? I already mentioned what our targets are to increase the EBITDA by 30%. And yes, I reasonably believe that we shall manage 100% increase in our net profit. The expenses in our industry mostly have to do with the salaries of highly qualified software engineers. What's happening, not just in Bulgaria, but especially in Bulgaria, but practically all over the globe, is that the remuneration in this sector is quite steeply growing year by year. So I don't think that we shall manage to save any money from there for the development of our own products, for the implementation of services for software by order, made to order, and the large system integration projects. The key resource that we have is human. You can't do something with less people. You may try, but it will be at the expense of quality. You may try with cheaper people, but bottom line, in the long term, this will be more expensive. So we can't really move towards decreasing our expenses. What must be done, as a matter of fact, is increase our revenue and develop more and more full product companies. They should manage to gain more revenue from licenses, from something that has already been developed. In other words, the ready products should be sold more. As for the service companies, the key factor is to manage towards larger specialization along the vertical so that we may compete with companies. In other words, we should not compete too much price-wise. In other words, even if the price is high, still we should be specialized enough so that we may be truly competitive. For instance, when you're outsourcing a project, say Oracle or some other, without a key technology or key knowledge, key know-how, then we should compete with loads of companies from India, Ukraine, and so on, whose game is to press the price downwards. And our idea is Kaizen and to be focused, be specialized, and be exceedingly competent in our carefully chosen spheres. Yes, but still, if you cast a glance further in the future, how would the margin be in terms of percentage? Okay, in the product companies, let's say the margins should be increased, and the service companies, the global trend is that the margin is getting lesser and lesser. In other words, in the service companies, the ambitious purpose is to keep the margin unchanged. Well, the service business in our sphere, same as any other, is quite extensive. In other words, in order to increase the margin, you should have loads of people working on many sundry projects. And you can't make miracles. You don't have a magic wand in your hand. With the service business, it's different with the product companies, though. When you have a strong product and you manage to sell it well, since you have good marketing and good sales, of course, yes, then you could be looking towards a very high margin, and this is indeed our current idea. Next, what about the operative cash flow? What are your ideas there, your targets? We are going to look forward to increase the operative cash flow regardless. When you have a surplus, this is not a good indication in economic tongue. Currently, it is negative, and this is quite normal because we invested a lot throughout the year, so that we may increase sales and the expenses in this sphere so that we could create new offices, as the executive director just mentioned, investment in sales and marketing, expenses for the commercialization for quite a few various products were significant. And the next question has to do with the income for 2015 and profit for 2015. The question is about about revenue. Profit is on the level that you have forecasted, but why do you have more expenses for materials and outsourcing? As already mentioned, we had to increase sales in the year 2015 because the latest studies by world analyzers have proven that any percentage of increasing revenue is 3% plus, while if you increase sales, it is only 1% increase in the sales value of a company. The global purposes and ambitions for our group on overall made us increase quite a lot our expenses. However, in the next few years, we are going to reap the results. In the year 2015, we kept implementing, regardless of the slight drawbacks in my expectations about the completion of the successful IPO. We keep our investment policy for the verticalization and commercialization, and also the development of new products. At the same time, we changed to some extent the structure of sales by increasing the integration projects volume, and they are relatively of quite lowering. So we had to increase the other elements of expenses, such as the reported value of sold assets and so on. So it's already mentioned. The increased salaries, this is also quite a serious item. In Bulgaria and overall, this is so. In the last year, we have paid in salaries more than 99% plus as compared to the previous year. At the same time, the result of the group for the year 2015, we have another reflection. The increased depreciation, because at the beginning of 2015, we had assets and products within the group, which increased depreciation, amortization, and impairment by more than 30%. You know for sure that we have quite a significant percentage of depreciation, in principle, in the software industry. And the depreciation was already calculated at the starting point. The high increase in capital expenses and sales is practically with practically the same personnel led to subcontractors and increased volume of outsourcing, which also decreased the margin, the profit margin to some extent. Regardless of that, we believe that we have a very exceptionally successful year because we have already built the sound foundation for global increase in the group. The next question has to do with the following: Sirma Solutions. Why do we have such an increase in revenue for 2015, and how will you manage this further expansion in the US and Europe in the year 2015? The increased revenue is mostly due to projects within system integration. Of course, we also had quite a few big-scale projects in public administration, but nothing that would be so significant that it would cast a large impact on our normal expectations there. In the year 2015, the business in the United States and Europe was practically on the level of the previous year. However, we started following our plan to increase the business, especially in the States, for instance. There, what we do is expanding our capacity from traders, the Boise office. We also have new project managers, and we currently employ such people. Also, ongoingly, we show employ a few more traders. That is, a few, they should be four to be more precise. In any case, this already is reflecting upon the results we have. Many more leads for projects, and our plan for the year 2016 includes the fact that each and every month we should start a new project, which would entail at least 5 or 6 people in the States. Of course, there are larger projects and smaller scale, more modest ones, but this is, generally speaking, the dynamics for this year. This is quite a challenge, a serious one, but we should try to rise up to this ambitious occasion. Now, as for the business in Europe, what we're doing is we started the specialization in key technologies that will afford us a chance to sell also in Europe. That's what I can share for the time being about our plans for the European market. And the next question has to do with Ontotext. Why do we have a decrease in the income of this company, eventually the loss? And what's happening with your partnership with Nevik? I already did mention the decreased revenue. We had some hiccups in the States because the manager left all of a sudden, and me, together with a couple of people, the marketing and technical support, we had to really get the reins back on this situation, and we managed. We already have a normal flow of customers and so on. But regardless of that, this was again quite a serious hiccup in 2015. What we are quite intent on achieving for the year 2016, again, as already mentioned, is apart from Bulgarians that currently reside there. Some of them are temporary, and while others are perms. We intend to employ some more American traders on to change. We intend to change to some extent the marketing. Now, this is one of the key investment projects that we're about to complete. As I already mentioned at the board of directors meeting of Sirma Group Holding, towards the end of March, we should have a ready decision, and maybe on Friday, earlier than expected, we are going to have it. It has to do with our office in the United States, where we should have a trade representation, a trade office. One of the key shareholders for Sirma, the person along whose initiative was done, Yaro Jonefi, is going to the States for at least the next 2 years. That's where we should use employ consultants that would assist us, Americans that is, that would assist us to structure our trade representation well at this trade office under various schemes in accordance with the business model developed by us. We shall have traders that will be selling various products from the group's portfolio. But we think that it would be quite good for our harmony and synergy if these people would work embraced within the same structure so that they may service all companies within the group. Why? Because first of all, we have cross-sales. We have different methods so that we may combine our activities and truly work jointly towards success. And yet another question, when shall we expect the distribution of dividends? This year, the subsidiaries of Sirma Group Holding have already started distributing, and these dividends are going towards the holding company. So the profit at the holding company should be received in 2016 or for 2016. The very first earliest dividend shall be distributed in the year 2016. And the last question here. You already commented to some extent for the employment of new personnel. Could you please tell again in which directions and how many more people do you intend to employ this year? Okay, each of the companies has different plans to increase the personnel, the staff. The increase for the separate companies vary from 10 to 20, 30% increase of their staff, the numbers. Of course, I need to mention one fact, which is that it is a bit dangerous, it's risky to sharply increase the number of people working for the companies, because it could create quite a time bomb with the organization of work within the companies. So 30 or 40% is the absolute maximum that we're looking at. It is quite a challenge in any case, even as it is, especially for the larger companies, of course. The smaller ones would do okay with such a sharp increase of numbers. Maybe within the group, we should achieve something of mean value, such as 10-15% increase of personnel. And also at the same time, for some of the projects, we heavily rely on our own resource, but we also build clusters, networks of companies with which we know for sure, for a fact, that we can collaborate for bigger projects, and they become our subcontractors when we have any steep moments, so that we may find enough resource to secure the implementation of a larger project. This is quite a normal practice already. It's an alphabetical rule even in the trade, because it's much better since when a company has too many people, and there is no guarantee that you have an ongoing flow of work steadily. Sometimes you have this these peaks with the needs of personnel, and it's best to have outsourcing for such particular moments. But what are the directions, so that you may say sales or developers or what? Oh, of course. As for the marketing and salespersons, there the increase will be most dramatic. We could reach 50-60% there. That is people working currently in the marketing and sales spheres, or even more than that. I was working about the 15% for software developers, obviously, who are, after all, the core of valuable people within Sirma Group Holding. Okay, well, thank you very much. I believe that we have exhausted all questions, so thank you for your time. Mr. Alexiev and Mrs. Penova, I believe that this was the most interesting and informative presentation, and also the discussion that we managed to engender online. Thank you to all our listeners and viewers. I hope that this will be an ongoing tradition, and I wish you a very nice evening. I would also like to extend my thanks to everyone. Have a nice celebration to all ladies and their men.